Peace be to you. By the end of this article, every Muslim will be able to know that the Arabic word Bakka in Hebrew is Bakka, and the Arabic word Mecca, or Mecca, in the Quran are two different localities and not of the same place altogether. What the Quran says about Bakka, also known as Bakkah, in Quran Chapter Al Imran 3 verse 96. Where is the original location of Bakka, as mentioned by Yahuwah, God of Abraham, Isaac and Israel? Quran Chapter Al Imran 3 verse 96 says, Lo! The first sanctuary appointed for mankind was that at Bakka, a blessed place, a guidance to the peoples. Pickthall translated the Arabic word Bakka to Bakka in English. Usually maintained the Arabic word Bakka in his Quran translation. So where is the exact location of Bakka, which in Hebrew is Bakka? However, there is another Arabic word Mecca, which is found in Quran Chapter Al-Fath, the Victory, 48 verse 24. Muhammad was in the valley of Mecca as mentioned in Quran Chapter Al-Fath, the Victory, 48 verse 24 after the conquest of Mecca city in 630 AD. As the Arabic words Bakka and Mecca are both mentioned only once in the Quran, we know that God makes no mistake on the location of these two places. God is perfect, to err is human. Everyone can see from the images saved from Google Earth on Israel, that Bakka is located in Israel between Bethlehem city in the south and Jerusalem city in the north. Abraham traveled from Haran city located near Turkey-Syria border, and migrated to the land of Canaan named after the son of Ham, second son of Noah. Abraham came from the bloodline of Eber from the son of Shem, firstborn son of Noah. Abraham moved within the land of Canaan from Shechem to Bethel, then to Hebron and later traveled to Mount Moriah or the Temple Mount, Jerusalem in order to fulfill the test of Yahuwah in respect of his son Isaac. Abraham logically passed through the valley of Bakka in Israel, as he traveled from Hebron city towards Bethlehem city and then northward through the valley of Bakka to Jerusalem city, and later returned to Hebron city after his mission was accomplished. Bakka, as mentioned in the book of Psalms chapter 84 verse 6, is logically located in Israel, where Abraham and Ishmael once lived. Both Abraham and Ishmael died, and were buried in Hebron and Paran in Israel respectively. Let's turn to the book of Psalms, which Yahuwah God had spoken to the children of Israel. Psalms 84 verse 5. Blessed is the man, whose strength is in the Yahuwah, in whose heart are the ways of them. Psalms 84 verse 6. Who passing through the valley of Bakka make it a well, the rain also filleth the pools. Psalms 84 verse 7. They go from strength to strength, every one of them in Zion appears before Elohim. Psalms 84 verse 8. O Yahuwah Elohim of hosts, hear my prayer, give ear, O Elohim of Jacob. Selah. Unquote. Restored Name King James Version. Jacob was also known as Israel as the angel of Yahuwah, whom he wrestled, renamed him as Israel, to mean he will rule as Elohim. Basically, the first mention of the valley of Bakka is located in Zion, later known as Israel. Every one of them in Israel of 12 years old and above, appears before the temple of Jerusalem during the Passover feast. Passover is for the remembrance of the night journey when Yahuwah God sent angel of death, to kill all the firstborn of the Egyptians, whose houses were not sprinkled with the blood of the lambs. Exodus 12 verse 28, says, And the children of Israel went away, and did as Yahuwah had commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. Exodus 12 verse 29. And it came to pass, that at midnight Yahuwah smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh, that sat down on his throne, unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle. Exodus 12 verse 30. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he, and all his servants, and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house, where there was not one dead. Exodus 12 verse 31. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night, and said, Rise up, and get ye forth from among my people, both ye and the children of Israel, and go, serve Yahuwah, as ye have said. Exodus 12 verse 32. Also take your flocks and your herds, as ye have said, and be gone, and bless me also. Exodus 12 verse 33. And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people, that they might send them out of the land in haste, for they said, We be all dead men. Unquote. Every male Hebrew will appear before Lord Yahuwah at the Temple of Jerusalem 3 times a year. So the 3 pilgrimages in a year to the Temple of Jerusalem will pass through the valley of Bakkah for those dwelling in the south of Bakkah city in Israel. One of the 3 important feasts is called the Passover. Exodus 34:23. Thrice in the year shall all your men children appear before the Master Yahuwah, the Elohim of Israel. None of the Hebrews will mistake the locality of the valley of Bakkah, except for those who are not reading the scripture of God nor send the warner to the Arabs before Muhammad. The book of Joshua clearly mentions that the children of Israel gathered at Shechem, where Abraham first camped at this place, and built an altar to burn animal sacrifice to Elohim. Joshua 24 verse 1. Joshua gathered all the tribes of Israel to Shechem and summoned the elders, the heads, the judges, and the officers of Israel. And they presented themselves before Elohim. Joshua 24 verse 2. And Joshua said to all the people, Thus says Yahuwah, the Elohim of Israel, long ago, your fathers lived beyond the Euphrates, Terah, the father of Abraham and of Nahor, and they served other Elohim. Joshua 24 verse 3. Then I took your father Abraham from beyond the river, and led him through all the land of Canaan, and made his offspring many. I gave him Isaac. Joshua 24 verse 4. And to Isaac I gave Jacob and Esau. And I gave Esau the hill country of Seir to possess, but Jacob and his children went down to Egypt. Joshua 24 verse 5. And I sent Moses and Aaron, and I plagued Egypt with what I did in the midst of it, and afterward I brought you out. Joshua 24 verse 6. Then I brought your fathers out of Egypt, and you came to the sea. And the Egyptians pursued your fathers with chariots and horsemen to the Red Sea. Joshua 24 verse 7. And when they cried to Yahuwah, he put darkness between you and the Egyptians, and made the sea come upon them and cover them, and your eyes saw what I did in Egypt. And you lived in the wilderness a long time. Joshua 24 verse 8. Then I brought you to the land of the Amorites, who lived on the other side of the Jordan. They fought with you, and I gave them into your hand, and you took possession of their land, and I destroyed them before you. In Joshua 24 verse 15, Prophet Joshua said, And if it seem evil unto you to serve Yahuwah, choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether the Elohim which your fathers served that were on the other side of the river, or the Elohim of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell, but as for me and my house, we will serve Yahuwah. Unquote. The children of Israel traveled northward from Mount Sinai located in northern Arabia, before reaching Tabuk city and heading towards the land of Canaan later known as Israel. Let's now turn to the Quran, on what had been recited to Muhammad concerning the children of Israel or the Israelites. Quran Chapter Bani Israel 17 verse 101 to 105. 101. And verily we gave unto Moses 9 tokens, clear proofs of Allah's sovereignty. Do but ask the children of Israel, how he came unto them. Then Pharaoh said unto him, Lo! I deem thee one bewitched, O Moses. 102. He Moses said, In truth thou know that none send down these portents save the Lord of the heavens and the earth as proofs, and lo! For my part I deem thee lost, O Pharaoh. 103. And he wished to scare them from the land of Israel, but we drowned him Pharaoh and those with him, altogether. 104. And we said unto the children of Israel after him Pharaoh, Dwell in the land of Israel, but when the promise of the hereafter comes to pass, we shall bring you as a crowd gathered out of various nations. 105. With truth have we sent it down, and with truth has it descended. And we have sent thee as naught else save a bearer of good tidings and a warner. Unquote. Pickfell translation. Quran Chapter Yunus, 10 verse 90-94. 90. And we brought the children of Israel across the sea, and Pharaoh with his hosts pursued them in rebellion and transgression, till, when the fate of drowning overtook him, he exclaimed, I believe that there is no God save him in whom the children of Israel believe, and I am of those who surrender unto him. 91. What? Now, when hitherto thou hast rebelled and been of the wrongdoers. 92. But this day we saved thee in thy body, that thou mayst be a portent for those after thee. Lo! Most of mankind are heedless of our portents. 93. And we verily did allot unto the children of Israel a fixed abode, and did provide them with good things, and they differed not until the knowledge came unto them. Lo! Thy Lord will judge between them on the day of resurrection concerning that wherein they used to differ. 94. And if thou Muhammad art in doubt concerning that which we reveal unto thee, then question those who read the scripture that was before thee. Verily the truth from thy Lord has come unto thee. So be not thou of the waverers. Unquote. Pickfell translation. Based on the Quran Chapter Yunus 10 verse 94, Muhammad is advised by God that he should ask the people of the scripture if he is in doubt what God reveals to him. Did Muhammad ask the Najran Christians, who went to debate with him in Medina in the 10th year of Hijrah, that is, 632 AD, before he died within 80 days after the imprecation or Leon challenge? The original place of Bakkah, as mentioned in Quran Chapter Al Imran 3 verse 96, is located in Israel, because no warner and no scripture were sent to the forefathers of Muhammad before him. Mecca town did not exist historically in the lifetime of Abraham and Ishmael between 1946, before Christ, and 1723, before Christ, based on the belief that Adam was created in year 3894, before Christ, which is 110 years from year 4004 before Christ. There is a solid evidence in the Quran that Abraham and Ishmael never set foot in Mecca town in Saudi Arabia. Strabo Geographica on Arabia, written between 26 before Christ and 23 AD, shows that Bakka town did not exist in Arabia at that period of time, along the frankincense trade route. Imagine, for a period of 2,000 years, how could a religious city in Arabia is totally unknown? Even Marib city and Medina city are known to Strabo. According to Dr. Rafat Amari, author of the book called Islam in the Light of History, Mecca town was founded around 4th century AD, where Kaaba was later built by an Arab ruler from Yemen called Asad Abu Kurb. Quran Surah 34 verse 44 says, And we have given them no scriptures which they study, nor send we unto them, before thee, any warner. Unquote. This is the trustworthy evidence, and it is so easy to comprehend. We never send to your race any messenger, before you became a messenger. Muhammad was the first Arab messenger sent to the Arabs around him. Since the religionists believe that Muhammad was born in Mecca, there is no way Abraham could have been sent there previously. Quran Al-Qasas 28 verse 46 says, And thou was not beside the mount when we did call, but the knowledge of it is a mercy from thy Lord, that thou may warn a folk unto whom no warner came before thee, that haply they may give heed. Unquote. Pickfell translation. Yahuwah spoke to Prophet Moses on Mount Horeb after the exodus from Egypt. Of course Muhammad was not yet born. As it says, no warner came before Muhammad, when it was purportedly spoken to him in Mecca, then Abraham and Ishmael were not sent to the Arabs. Quran Hud 11 verse 49 says, This is of the tidings of the unseen, which we inspire in thee Muhammad. Thou thyself knew it not, nor did thy folk know it before this. Then have patience. Unquote. Pickfell translation. Abraham built several altars to offer a burnt sacrifice of lamb to Yahuwah. He was not commanded by Yahuwah to appear before him in the temple of Jerusalem. but Abraham had to pass through the valley of Bakkah, as he traveled from Mount Moriah to Hebron in Israel. Nowhere in the Quran says Bakkah is located in Saudi Arabia except Abraham built the first sanctuary of worship in Bakkah, which is subject to the interpretation by the people of the scripture. Abraham and Ishmael never set foot in Mecca of Saudi Arabia. In fact, the first house of worship in Jerusalem was built by King Solomon, not by Abraham. Apart from Bakkah, another word commonly claimed by some Muslims is that Paran is located in Saudi Arabia and known as Mecca. But Paran is located south of Israel known as Jordan today, which may be known as Petra City. Genesis 21 verse 21 says, "And he Ishmael dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took him a wife out of the land of Egypt." Number 13 verse 3 says, "And Moses by the commandment of Yahuwah sent them from the wilderness of Paran, all those men were heads of the children of Israel." After the exodus from the land of Egypt and crossed the Red Sea, the children of Israel passed through the wilderness of Paran, where Ishmael once lived until his death and burial. So the location of the wilderness of Paran is in Jordan today. Let the scripture interprets the scripture should be the basis of all interpretations of the Holy Scriptures from one God. Muhammad recited to the people of the scripture in Quran Chapter Al Imran the Spider 29 verse 46, that our God and your God is one, unto him we surrender. If a Muslim tries to quote the verse spoken to disbelievers in Quran Chapter 109 verse 6, saying unto you your religion, and unto me my religion, then he or she is misquoting the Quran supposedly meant for scripture less and not meant for the people of the book. Quran Chapter Al Imran the Food, 5 verses 44 to 47 acknowledges the book of Moses and the gospel of Jesus shall be used to judge the believers of one God. As God has given only one manner of the law based on the Torah of Moses, then every interpretation of the law must be in line with the earlier scriptures. Quran Chapter Al Imran 3 verse 81, says about the covenant of God for the prophets to observe the criterion, to help a later messenger only when he confirms, or agrees with the scriptures in the hands of the prophets before him. So a later messenger like Muhammad should conform to the scriptures of the earlier prophets. Failing which, he will be immediately expelled as a false warner. Christians should stand firm on what the Holy Bible says about Bakka in Hebrew or Bakkah in Arabic, which is located in Israel and not in Saudi Arabia. All Muslims should realize by now that the Muslim scholars and religious teachers have been trying hard to conceal this important truth. The erroneous identification on the location of Bakkah means all Muslims have gone astray and deviated from the religion of Abraham, which they so much boast about it. Muslims should appreciate the truth of this article even though truth hurts. I am here to impart the truth to the Christians and Muslims that Bakkah, as mentioned in Quran Chapter Al Imran 3 verse 96 is located in Israel based on the literal interpretation of the Quran by the Book of Psalms given by God before the Quran. In conclusion, billions of Muslims around the world have been misguided by the false interpretation of Quran Chapter Al Imran 3 verse 96 on the word Bakkah, to be located in Saudi Arabia. The word Bakkah is only mentioned once in the Quran, and there is no further elaboration of its location in the Quran. But the scripture of the Torah, before the Gospel and the Quran clearly identified its location, to be in Israel. Quran itself is very clear that no scripture and no warner were sent to the forefathers of Muhammad before him. So it does not make any sense to interpret Abraham and Ishmael were the warners sent to Mecca before Muhammad. The 6 verses in the Quran says that the Arabs, before Muhammad were scriptureless and without a prophet, as told in Quran 34 verse 44, 32 verse 3, 36 verse 6, 11 verse 49, 28 verse 46, and 29 verse 46 to 49. The place Bakkah in Quran chapter 3 verse 96, is logically and historically located in Israel and not in Arabia. All Muslims have been misguided by the false interpretation of the aforesaid verse, as the 6 other verses in the Quran have refuted the claim of any previous prophet sent to Mecca before Muhammad. Shalom.